Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reviewing for our marking period 3 progress check. And the way that we're going to do this is by just doing some review of the stuff that we've done this past marking period. And we're going to focus today on linear equations. So these are not scatter plots. These are actually dots that form straight lines on our graph. And our job today is to be able to write equations to represent those lines. We're going to start with number 1, and then you'll finish this worksheet on your own. So let's take a look at number 1 on your packet. You can pause this as we go if you want to write notes and copy the answers on your worksheet. So number 1 says the graph below shows the frequency of male cricket chirps to the temperature outside. So our X is the number of chirps and our temperature outside is the Y values. We're asked to write an equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We're asked what the slope means in the context of the problem, and we're asked what the y-intercept means in the context of the problem. So I am going to start here with, let's start with our b. I think that's a good starting point since we consider that our start. So I'm going to go to my, the b is the y-intercept. That's where x is 0. So I'm going to go down my y-axis, or look where x is 0, and so my b is 40. That's my b. So when we have 0 chirps, 0 is my x, the temperature outside is 40 degrees. So for the y-intercept here, what does it mean? I'm just going to fill this in right now. So my b is 40. And there are 0 chirps at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So now that we have our B, I am going to move on and try to calculate the M. So the M is also known as our slope. And we find that on a graph by doing the rise over the run. So I need to pick 2 points that cross an intersection on my grid. So this dot here is kind of in between 2 lines. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to pick this dot right here. And then this one's in between. And then this is another one that's on the grid. You can pick any points that are on the grid lines, the grid intersections. I'm just going to pick these 2. We should all get the same answer though. So to go for the rise, it's like you're making a triangle. My rise is the height of the triangle, which is plus 1 jump. But when I look at my axis, I'm counting by 10. So it's a plus 10. And then I have to go right 2 jumps. But when I look at my x-axis, I'm counting by 5. So 5, 10. So it's also 10. So my rise is 10 and my run is 10, which simplifies to 1. So now that I have the slope of the line, I have to write what it means. So the slope is my M, and my M is 1. Now, when I explain the meaning, I find it's easier if I write it as a fraction. So you can put any whole number over 1. And the rise is looking at the y-axis. So that's the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. The run's looking at the x-axis, and that's the number of chirps. So when I write my sentence, I'm going to talk about the number of y's for every 1x. So the temperature increases (1 degree Fahrenheit) for every 1 chirp. So if you do it this way and you label it, it kind of helps you to visualize how your sentence should read. You want to talk about the y's first and the x second. Now, we can take these 2 pieces of information and plug them in to our slope intercept form. So we have y equals, instead of m, I'm going to put 1, x, and instead of b, it's a positive 40. Or I don't really need that one, so I could write y equals x plus 40. So you're going to finish the front and back of this page. Now that we've done it, you're going to use this as a model. And when you're done, you'll check your answers and move on to the next activity.